Hello, beautiful people. Let's welcome in James, who is far away from me now, but I'm still happy I got to see you from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. Hello.
Yay. Hey everybody. Y'all, I miss my bestie so much. Like I didn't think I was gonna miss her like this, but I do miss being in close proximity of her. But it was so good to have her here. Seeing her separate on the camera now feels weird to me, but you know.
Just think of it like FaceTime, a very public FaceTime. A very
Yes.
public FaceTime. You guys, I do all of most of my television content with the exception of Love After Lockup and my TLC shows. I do all of my stuff with James, so I encourage you to check out his channel. He has a lot. They're Married to Medicine, Love and Marriage Huntsville. They're coming back. He's also currently recapping Bell Collective as well as the Braxtons and Housewives of Salt Lake City. He'll do RHOA once it's back. He's also covering the Housewives of Potomac right now. And there's a lot of shows that are to come. So check out his channel, y'all.
Yes, don't forget Married to Medicine. It is coming back as well. So I have that at the end of this month. I have that's over 6 shows, you guys, that I am currently covering. That is a lot. I am blessed that I am not at work right now, so I can do all the shows at one time. But when I go back to work, it is going to be difficult. So I'm going to say this now, and I will say it on my channel tomorrow. Please be patient with us because me and Mrs. Best have opposite schedules.
I start school next week too again.
Yes. So we're going to have
on YouTube, but ring the bell so you know when we coming. Because we may not know when we come.
That's why, because I know some of y'all are like, well, when is this? Do you guys have a schedule? We don't have a schedule. It's a very much a text message. Hey, are you available to squeeze this live in right now? Yes, I'm available. Okay, let's do it. It's very much been that, and it's been that for the entire time we've been on YouTube. We have not had a set schedule for anything. The days may be consistent, but the time is not.
Yeah, things that get, at least for me, things would be more consistent. Just give me like a year, y'all. That's it. I'll be done with school. I'll be in more school, but I'll have more time. But I do want everyone to subscribe to James's channel because for the most part, through the winter and through the holidays, we're going to have most of the lives on his channel versus my channel. I'll have smaller stuff, but Married at First Sight will be gone by November the 20th. And then what else do I have? Surviving Mormonism with Heather Gay. I'll be recapping that. That is only three episodes.
Yep.
And then Wife Swap is not going to be too many episodes either. So
I think we only have 2 more where it's the Housewives. And then I don't know if they're transitioning into a full-fledged show. We don't know what they're going to do with it outside of that. But they're getting good reviews and they're getting great viewership. So it may come back with more Housewives. We got something there.
And then I know New Jersey's halted, Rhode Island, y'all. Whenever it comes, we'll get it. And Love and Hip Hop Miami is going to be on BET. I will be covering that. It airs on Tuesday, so I'll cover it on Wednesday. Basketball Wives, they've been airing that a lot, so I don't know if they're going to try and sneak a season in, but we'll see. Hi, Danny. How you doing? Happy Sunday. I hope you enjoyed your day. Thank you. That was the fastest flight. I got there in an hour. And then on top of it being fast, I live in California, so daylight savings happened. And so I was like, oh, snap, I gained an extra hour of sleep. I have not gone to sleep. I've been up since 1:30 in the morning, but I'm keeping it pushing, y'all. Shetty said, yeah, I know, because sometimes you all be early in the morning. And I'm like, wait, I'm still just waking up. I know. Me and James wake up hella early. Naturally.
We do. Which is crazy because I work nights. So it's like I don't know what's wrong with I'm blessed to be this way. Don't get me wrong, because I can adapt to any season of day. I can work nights, I can still be up in the morning, I can still I literally, as long as I get 6 hours of sleep, I'm good throughout the day. So I pretty much slept my entire day today because I have been running around over the last 3 days. I have been running around like crazy, which is something I have not done since being injured. I have not did that much. I literally am in my home all day long. So this is one I did. I got outside, which was great. I needed the melanin. I promise you. I go outside, but not to that degree. That was probably the most I've been out in a long time.
That's good. I'm actually glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Shanny said you work nights, but waking up in the crack of ass crack. When do you sleep?
So I have not been working. So I'm still on leave for my injury. I have not been at work. I don't think I go back to work till the end of this month. So that's going to be a hard transition for me because I'm not going to be at my regular position. I'm going to be light duty until they transition me back to regular duty, which will be in January. So yeah, I still can wake up at any time. Like she had texted me last night or at 3 o'clock, or is it like 3 o'clock this morning? I don't know when you text me. She goes, "Are you awake?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "You are crazy," because she thought I was going to sleep, and I'm like, "No, I'm waiting on y'all."
Oh Lord, we was up too, just chilling. Let's get into the episode, you guys. This episode was titled "Home Sweet Home." This is season 19, episode 6. So Married at the First Sight will continue. Pastor Calvin, who's on the show, he did confirm that they will continue to air 2 to 3 episodes each week, with the last couple episodes airing on the 20th. So just a heads up about that, which works out perfectly for me because the week of Thanksgiving I won't be here. So it works out. But the couples are done with the honeymoon process, and they are now living with each other. So for those not familiar with the show, the way it works is after they go on their honeymoon, they then put them into like a temporary apartment or condo where they live for a couple of weeks. And at the end of it, that's when they figure out if they want to stay married. Because you can't possibly think that they would make the decision to marry somebody and then stay married to them without living with them. I love this concept. I was telling James about this show when we did Never Ever Mets, because he kind of wanted a concept like that for Never Ever Mets, like them moving in together, which I do think works. But that's what we're going to see, which I'm happy about. What's poppin', Shayna? Good evening to you. Afternoon for me. Thank you for stopping in. I always encourage everybody to subscribe to Shayna's channel. Her content's interesting. There's a lot of YouTubers I support, but her content I actually watch. So subscribe, support her. Yeah, she's Black. We love people Black. We just do.
Yes.
See it here. Let me see. Do you want to talk about Josh and Jalen's cycle class?
No, we can skip over that.
Josh and Jalen are doing so good. This is no shade, but we know she cycles and she does real estate, and good for them. They're doing well. Moving forward, Brittany shows Will her house. I'm not going to watch my mouth, and we are not on Watch Your Mouth reviews. She got one more time. Brittany got one more time on my TV screen to act neurotic. I cannot. So she shows Will her house. She's young. She's, I believe, 29 or 30. She's young, and she already owns a home, which is an incredible accomplishment.
Yes.
Especially as a single woman or a single person in general. That's incredible. She's very proud of her home, and she's excited to show them the house. The problem is that when she's showing them the house, she's like, he just doesn't seem too into it. And she makes a comment because she's bringing hella clothes to their makeshift house. Now, what happens at the end of this, not the Watch Your Mouth, Shayna.
I know, Shayna, right? It's okay. I'm a good sport. I am. I got her.
I don't watch my mouth, though. Watch my mouth reviews either. I be trying to, though. I really do.
My channel is like an irony oxymoron because I never watch my mouth, but ironically, I do not cuss a lot.
He doesn't.
So it's kind of like one of those things. This is one of those times where I'm able to kind of like be somebody I'm usually not in a day. So that's why I created my channel that way, because I want to be somebody different. I only cuss when I get frustrated. That's the only time I cuss.
That's true. James's man was looking at me like, oh my goodness, we got to watch when we take you, please. I'm in the restaurant like, yeah, fuck that, fuck this, hell yeah, motherfuck this, look at these niggas. And they he said, oh my God, they're looking at us like we're ratchet, and he's Jamaican. So I just said, eat your little puff balls. They all right. I didn't realize I could be a louder Black person in public sometimes. I'm a work in progress, God.
I'm used to it because I'm from the Bay. That's what we do. But coming to Phoenix, you really got to tone that down. So
Yeah,
it's
I was
kind of
saying
like,
hi to people. They was looking at me like, what? She's asking how I'm doing? Yes. I have manners. How are you today? Lady looked at me like I'm fine at Lucky's. I said, oh Lord. Now she's afraid that I'm being nice. I don't know. Shayna says she cuss all the time except on YouTube. Honestly, that's a smart move,
mhm.
business-wise, and you can reach more people. That's smart. And honestly, I'm just now noticing that you really do not cuss in any of
No,
your
she
videos.
doesn't. No,
She does
yeah.
not cuss. I got a filthy fucking mouth. I'm working on it though. I am.
Thank you, Shayna.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Lord help us. Brittany shows him this house though, and she's bringing hella clothes to the house that they're in temporarily. They're only in this house for like a couple weeks, not even
Right.
hella long. She's trying to bring her whole wardrobe, it seems. And she threw a fit because he made a joke and she felt kind of judged about the house because he made a joke about the clothes. Like, do you really need all of this? Like, does she? Did she? But women like to, I'm a person that overpacks all the time, so I get it. But Brittany, this can't, like, are you really going to feel judged, like, as a person about your entire home just because a man said you're packing too much stuff? My husband was saying that to me when I was packing to go to James's house for just 48 hours. I packed enough clothes for more than 48 hours. I wore one thing. So, why get offended over that? That was strange. I'm not a homeowner. I've never been a homeowner. So I'm not going to pretend that I can understand like the importance of owning a home just yet. I know it's important, but I don't understand that feeling. So maybe has a sensitivity I don't understand. But then I also felt like you're tripping. Like, what do you want him to praise you for owning a home? He'll congratulate
Yes.
you. He'll say it's nice, but nobody's gonna like give you a round of applause every time they're in your home.
Well, it's the thing about it is it's a beautiful accomplishment. It's one of those accomplishments that not every adult gets to do, based on either circumstance of life or just, never having the time or maybe just not wanting to own a home. Like I think for me, watching her get so offended by every little smart remark that he made. He has a dry sarcasm by this point. At least you should. So I honestly feel like either if you cannot handle it, then you need to tell him that. Or if you're going to always get offended, then you need to stop showing him shit. Because at the end of the day, it's like, what do you want him to do? He's being himself. Like, do you not want that? Like, that's how
I don't
I
think she
feel.
knows what she wants. Like the more we see Brittany, I think she knows that she wants love and companionship, but I don't think she knows what type of love or what type of companion that she wants.
And see, that's where she needs to get out of her own way. That right there, what you just said is absolutely true. She's in her way in a sense where it's kind of, she's self-sabotaging all of her victory of what she just accomplished. You're homeowner, you're married, you're this, but you're self-sabotaging yourself to where it looks like it's not something you've always wanted, but it's something you need to do. And that's where I feel like I'm having a disconnect with Brittany, is because she's doing this to herself. And it's like, you don't have to do this like this. You could literally just accept it and embrace it.
I think she's also maybe a little just focused on how things look, because if I purchase a home, I'm more concerned with how I feel and maintaining the motherfucker versus how anybody else feels about it, if I'm being honest, but it could be different. Shani is saying hello to Shayna. I'm so glad I ain't messed up y'all names, because the SH, my brain be like, Shayna said that's true. Some people do not want to own a home, but this is a huge accomplishment, especially as a single Black woman.
Yes.
For 30.
And here's the thing, I go back and forth. I'm older than Brittany, and I go back and forth all the time because I could have bought a home years ago. But I'm just like, do I want to like do renovations? Do I want to like do a turnkey? Do I want a cookie cutter home? Like, there's so many things that I want that I don't know if I can weigh the pros and cons. And plus, I don't like things break in Phoenix a lot. So for me, like I have a friend who has to replace a water heater, and then just 5 months ago, one of my girlfriends had to replace her stove. And it was like, it's like, damn. And when you really are like, you have a little bit of savings and then you always have to give it away. I'm not one of those people that really like losing my money like that if I'm not enjoying it. So the idea of me having to buy a new refrigerator or a washer and dryer, that's not fun for me. Like, that's not. So I always go back and forth with, do I want to own a home? But it is actually a very huge accomplishment. And I'm proud of anybody who can do it, especially alone. I'm proud of anybody who can do it. So, you know.
But I think Brittany has to also practice some humility. Understand that
Yes.
though you have done this accomplishment, is something to be proud of. Also, be humble about it. You shouldn't be that focused. He's just trying not to piss you off because every little thing she do, every little thing he does or doesn't do, seems to upset her. But you know, I get it. She just doesn't have a lot of experience dating. She explained that, and it definitely shows. And she had no example as it relates to her family. And the grief is probably hurting her too. So Shayna said, I got to catch up. I'm still on episode 3, but I don't see it for this couple. Shayna, nobody sees it for this couple.
Well, not to jump ahead, but your opinion of this may change episode 7. I'm just saying.
My thing, even after watching, even if they were to somehow get it together, if you're comfortable acting the way Brittany acted so soon, when they get to know each other, how neurotic is she going to really get? Because if she did that shit then, it's like, okay, stuff could be good. They could figure it through. But I think a lot of people make the mistake of saying, oh, things are good with our relationship most of the time. But when we argue, it gets too crazy. Brittany gives me that. Like, anytime they have a disagreement, she'll take it farther than it needs to go.
Oh, no, I agree. At this point, yes. Absolutely. At this point, it is 100. You are spot on 100%. She is absolutely insane. And like I said, she can't get out of his mind and he can't close his mouth. So it's one of those situations where I'm like, I actually see both of them in the wrong. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's like, like I want to root for them. Like Shayna said later on, I want to root for them, but I know it is some fuck shit.
This is some bullshit. Like, Married at First Sight is usually somewhat diverse, but this feel like they just needed to fill a quota of a black couple because
yes.
Me and James don't even see why these two were matched fully. Like, we could see a piece of it, but not the whole like shebang. So I don't know. They're weird.
Well, I had said, Shayna, I honestly wouldn't have put them together if I were to select these 8 people just in general, or 10 people in general. It would honestly, I would have switched Derek with Brittany and I would have put Will with Megan. I would have switched them two just because I feel like they would intellectually connect more, which would probably bring some of that like Derek would connect better with Brittany and that would break down some of those walls. And I feel like with Will, he's very nonchalant, which is what Megan actually needs. Megan needs somebody that is just going to sit there and just listen and just, not say much. Because anytime that man opened his mouth, she ready to attack. And it's like, oh my God, I know we ain't there yet, but I'm just saying, just giving like examples. Like, it's really crazy.
Megan's a lot. That's a whole nother beast. But they are next. So Megan's mad at Derek. Okay, what I say, so me, James, and my husband watched this episode together. The language on that sofa was terrible because she's mad at Derek over a damn dog. Now, I love animals. I have an animal. I have a pet. I don't think I've ever argued with my husband over my cat. Why am I arguing with him over a pet? Like what? There's a lot that we have to do as a couple, and I just don't feel like the pet is the problem. Let's get into the argument, though. She basically feels like Derek should have walked her dog. Her dog. He's already been told that the dog has to be there. She was like, I have a dog, you have to accept her. And yeah, like that's my biggest concern. So he didn't have the option, which he does tell her eventually. But she was mad because he did not walk the dog. He calmly explained himself and explained that he kind of has compromised a lot in the relationship and she has not. And he says that he's had to accept the dog and a lot of other things without being asked. So she acts like she kind of gets it, then she acts like she doesn't. But Pastor Robinson comes by and he essentially tells Derek that his tone is good, but he needs to also realize sometimes that it's okay to just, it seemed like the doctor was telling him to just nod and comply with his wife, to have like a moment of peace, like as if like to pick your battles. That is the worst advice that you could give someone. And this pastor just celebrated 16 years of marriage, which tells me that he's either on his second, indicating not a person to be taking advice from, or he himself is navigating something himself. Just because you have something yourself and have success in your relationship doesn't mean that it qualifies you to give other people advice. Like, I tell people that all the time because I've been with my spouse for almost 20 years, and people think that means that we have advice or a blueprint, but we don't. I just don't think that because you've been with someone for a long time, you should give advice. I know the pastor has experience as it relates to Christianity, but I don't feel like Megan and Derek need his particular form of expertise that he could get. Megan needed someone to hold her accountable for her lack of communication skills, shutting down, and then attempts to gaslight and manipulate and deflect. That's what Megan needed. But instead, he's basically making it seem like Derek's done something when Derek has been calm, forgiving, had to deal with all of this stuff. He can't tell her anything that's not positive without her making it a bigger problem. The women this season are crazy, James. But how did you feel about Megan and Derek, the dog, and the doctor? Do you feel like he even helped them?
No, he didn't help them at all, because to me, that was telling him that you need to pacify and shut down yourself to appease her, because happy life, happy wife. I don't agree with that, because at the end of the day, this is not a circumstance where they're dating and he's known her puppy, where he feels comfortable enough to, you know, do certain chores that a husband would do had he been dating his wife. They're doing the opposite. He does not know this dog. And first off, that is unreasonable. And I'm being honest, y'all, that is an unreasonable request. This early in their relationship, I get they're living together and I get what the circumstance is. However, that is unreasonable. Your dog does not know this man.
Your dog is your responsibility.
Yes.
Here's the thing. If you have a child and you move in with a man that you did not have that child with, you do not get to just automatically expect that that man is going to be the person going to parent-teacher conferences, taking the kid to school. You would hope, and I'm not saying there's a lot of people who would do it, but you can't just expect him to be walking your dog. And that's a finicky thing. Like, I understand, like, I'm a dog lover, I'm an animal lover myself, but a lot of the people in my life that I love and are close to don't like cats, and I have a cat. That doesn't, I'm not going to get mad at them for not wanting to touch my cat. I'm not going to get mad at them if I lived with them for not wanting to scoop the litter box. I'm the one that has to scoop it because it's my fucking pet. So if he doesn't want to walk the dog and you're getting to know each other, then accept it. Get off your ass and walk your own dog.
Well, honestly, she needed to warm him into that. Like, go on walks together and then say, okay, is there any way possible that maybe you can walk my dog when I'm not here, since I am at work? And this is, make it a nightly routine before you just, because it looked like she just threw it on him. That's what it looked like to us.
Also available to do it. It sounds like she was supposed to do it, didn't feel like it, and asked him, and he said no, and she threw a fit. I don't like Megan.
I don't either. And I'm trying to give her a chance. And I thought skipping ahead to the next episode would have done that, but it actually gets worse. So
when you judge a husband and your ability to know him based on a different taste of music, like, you're like, on a serious note, she was impacted by that.
No, she's just, it's more than just that. Megan is mean and very surly. Megan is very mean and very surly. Like, it's like, whoa. Now I see why you alone. At first, I was like, she's beautiful. So I couldn't understand it at first. But now that I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, you are very mean. And you are right surly. Like, and it's very vile. And if I was Derek, I would have left.
Yep.
After
And I have a feeling, Megan, you may see that your parents are together for a long time, but I have a feeling her mama does the same shit to the daddy, and she may be mistaken love for weakness, because some men will accept that
I feel
bullshit.
like her daddy ain't never home. I feel like that ain't the truth she tell. I feel like that daddy ain't there because the daddy wasn't at that wedding. So
that's a good.
So I feel like the dad's never home, and that maybe keeps the peace. You know, you have to understand. You have to watch your parents in a certain circumstances of like, okay, my parents may be, you know, together, but I have seen parents have separate bedrooms. I have seen a bed that was literally cut in half but pushed together for the kids. I have seen like serious situations where there are couples who stay together for children and just feel like it's too expensive to divorce, so we're going to stay in this.
All the
So
time.
yeah, all the time, and I feel like that's what our parents are doing.
Shada said we all need new
I
experts.
agree.
Pepper should have been gone. Dr. Pepper should have been gone a long time ago. And no
Ooh.
shade to Pastor Robinson. He should have been gone a long time ago too. Dr. P, I like her. She hasn't been here since season 1, but I like her a lot. We'll get into that. But the experts are not experting.
You know who would be great on this show if she wasn't in retirement is Iyanla.
She would.
She would be great because all of them have very personal issues that I feel like.
Be careful though with that, because we have to remember Ayanla's credentials do not align with something like this. She would be better if they needed individual help, but I don't think for couples that she would be.
No, not the couples, but for individual, because they need to be talking to somebody individual. At least 4 out of the 10 of these people for sure need individual therapy.
To make a decision like this, they all
they all do, but I'm talking about very like critical, like counseling. Megan does for sure. Brittany does for sure. Rhonda does for sure, and Pat does for sure. Need very critical therapy. So for me watching this, because I'm seeing how they're all moving, and I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy. Great people.
Josh and Jalen heavily needed too.
I know them too. Yes,
I think they got lucky and really were like matched with their person. Like I think they are meant for each other. But I also think if they don't address their independent issues, that the trauma will impact them later on.
Well, I said Jalen to me is sneaky. I said that in the last live, and I'm saying it's something about her that I just don't connect with. And I think she's very bubbly, very sweet, very cute. But it's something about her that I just don't trust, and I don't know why. I don't know why.
I've only seen the bubbly, so it would make sense if you've only seen the bubbly with someone. It's like, okay, we know that we all have moments where we're not bubbly and chipper and stuff, and that's weird. But whenever people like hide those like imperfections, it's you got to wonder what else they hide, and so I definitely feel the same. Shayna said, and who the hell likes country anyway? I actually like country music.
Somewhat me too.
I am picky with it through the years. I don't like the direction country music has gone. I think now with artists like Shabuzi and Black people taking back country music, it's definitely getting better, because from like 1996 to 2016, every country song essentially was the same. But now it's better. But I do listen to country music.
Yeah, I am like, if you guys don't know, I'm a huge LeAnn Rimes fan. So it's one of those where I'm like,
one I listen to also.
I listen to Chris Stapleton as well. I love Trisha Yearwood. I love Kenny Chesney. I love Blake Shelton. So I actually do have a very diverse music taste. So I do love some country. I'm gonna say country songs. And it's somewhat like the artist too, but like, yeah, I'm not totally turned off of country music.
I saw Shabuzi perform recently and it was amazing.
Oh wow, I need to see him then.
Amazing, the best thing ever. He was getting some award because Empire, the label, is based in the Bay, so they always do like a free concert to make up for the fucked up shit they do here. The next couple y'all that we gonna get into is Brittany and Will again. Pastor Robertson goes by there, and I was like, no, they needed a sex therapist and a psychologist and a couples counselor. Like the only person on Married at First Sight that is actually certified in today's time to counsel any couple or anyone in this situation is Dr. P. So I was so happy that they sent her later on for Rhonda and Pat. But I feel like Brittany and Will needed her more than Rhonda and Pat did. Rhonda and Pat, I feel like, could have done better with Pastor. Well, actually, I think they did good with Dr.
Yeah, no, they definitely needed Dr. P.
Rhonda needed
Rhonda needed it. Yes.
We'll get to that, but they could have went either way. But I just felt like Brittany and Will, they really needed Dr. P. But essentially, Brittany tells Pastor Robertson that she feels like Will is hard to read. I love that she doesn't communicate that to him ever. And the pastor says to Will that he needs to tell Brittany his feelings and how he feels about stuff. And he mentions that the intimacy issues that they've been having have been difficult for him. I like how he, no matter what she does and what type of fit she throws and how she gaslights him, he has not changed his story. He said, we was gonna fuck, you stopped it, and then you got mad when I respected your body. He keeps reminding us that the bitch is tripping, essentially. Mm-hmm. But he does it in like a respectful way. I think at some point, Brittany, you're saying Will is hard to read, but I don't think she's trying to get to know his personality. I will never see it for this couple. I don't care what I see in the other episode. When that girl said to Will, I don't care what your favorite color is. I don't care what your likes are. I just care about how to be a good wife. I said, oh, Lord, I will never see it for them. She needs to, if someone's quiet and you feel they're hard to read, then make the effort to get to know them and figure out if this quietness is the norm, if this quietness is discomfort, or if this is just their personality. But she's not trying to do that and then complaining about it. It's like she wants him to get to know her, but she doesn't put in the same effort that she's expecting. And she can't see that. She can't see that right now. I do think she'll eventually see it, but she cannot see it right now. They do find peace. I think this couple, the only way that they would have a shot is if they would have met and dated off of this show. Like, if the experts would have set them up and they didn't have the pressure of being married at first sight and would have just dated, I think Brittany and Will could have been okay. I think the pressure of being on television is causing her flaws to show more. But Will looked done to me. Like, they made peace. But in this scene, I kind of sense that he's like, I'm going to just do what I can to shut her up and try. Like, I think he's more committed to the experience at this point than her. Because she's done too much too soon. But how do you feel about they meeting with the pastor?
I feel like it was an opening and they both took it, which I'm glad that they did. But I did agree with you. I feel that with people like him, you have to bring them out of their element. So when you bring someone out of their element, it challenges them to have to meet you somewhere in the middle of their personality, which is responding to questions, liking an experience, and doing something. They have to be brought out of their element. And I think she struggles with that because she's making this situation all about her. So I feel that for this instance of the pastor telling her he can't read your mind, which was my favorite part, that's exactly what signifies my example, is that he can't read your mind. He does not know you. You don't know him. So the best way to get to know each other now that you're married is to date, is to take him out of the element and stop expecting him to do everything, which is read your mind, cater to you, and do things that you want to do. And when he does not do those things, then you get angry and tell him that, oh, he's being like this, he's being like that. But it's like, you're leading the pack. So it's like he can do that, yes, because that's his element. And because you're not taking it out and making the relationship about you, that's why you're always hitting a dead end in this relationship. Y'all, it's not that hard. I want y'all to understand something. This experience and why I love it so much is that it's really not that hard, especially because you're coming into a situation that is fresh and that is new, and you're already starting at a commitment. If you're not a committed person, just even to yourself, this situation is going to be challenging for you.
That's true. I agree.
So yeah, I feel that that's what we're seeing with this couple all together. So they do give me a glimpse of hope, but at the end of the day, I want her to get out of her mind. And I feel like that's what she's been trained to do, and that's what she's come accustomed to throughout her, adult life where she is so far.
She's had a horrible example of relationships from her parents. In addition to that, she said most of the women in her family are single. It's not a bad thing to be single, but there's a reason why. And I feel like maybe some of the traits of that may have rubbed off on her. But Brittany, I'm just gonna, for now, I'm gonna put a pin in it. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna watch the next episode after I get off of this live and see it, but just like scientifically, because my brain is trained in the science of psychology, like nobody changes overnight. So I don't see myself seeing it for Brittany.
I
Or
think
Will.
okay, here's the thing.
Glimmer.
I think it's a glimmer of hope that it could turn around. I'll put it like that. It's a like because I said it in the
I
text
think
message, it's a
people
glimmer
have
of
to
hope.
pay attention to the fact that when too much happens too soon, you should not have that glimmer of hope. That's unhealthy. The way that Brittany has behaved, anybody could give you a glimmer of hope. She has no experience, grief she needs to address, years of trauma. She doesn't need to date anybody at all, but she definitely doesn't need to date anybody like Will. I just can't see him ever giving her constant reassurance, which I think is something she needs. She just, I don't know. I just don't see it for her. But I'm gonna give her a shot, a fair shot, because I like her outside of her relationship, if that makes sense. Like,
no, she's very much black girl magic. I absolutely love that about her.
You gotta like her, but just in a relationship, it's a
little bit different. It's kind of you too much into yourself. Like you need to scale that back some. Like Brittany, if you're watching, because I know a lot of y'all watch us on Married at First Sight, you need to scale some of that back, baby. You need to scale it back some. It's okay to let him lead. It's okay to take a step back and let him be who he is, which is a man that you've been wanting. It's okay. You are not going to fumble. You are not going to break if you let him lead. And he seems to have a good head on his shoulders. I don't see really too many red flags with him that are a detriment to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it like that.
Not yet.
Well, it's not yet, but yeah.
There's something with him, though, and I still think that his mom is a red flag, but we'll get to that whenever we have to see her again. The last thing we saw in this episode, y'all, was Rhonda and Pat meet with Dr. P. Rhonda's complaining of the same shit with Pat. I'm sick of Rhonda now. I loved Rhonda, and I still love Rhonda's style, because to me, Rhonda's a bad bitch. I love me some Rhonda. But Rhonda in a relationship is not likable. I understand that Pat has issues. James himself said that Pat needs intensive therapy, amongst a couple others on the show. And I think we can all agree with that. He's insecure. But Dr. P was very good at interrupting Rhonda, complaining about the issues she has with Pat, and asking like appropriate questions that were needed in the moment for Rhonda to see. So Pat explains that Rhonda can sometimes be way too direct, and that it sounded like direct in like an aggressive way, the way he was kind of painting it. But she says that Rhonda says, how can she fix it? She gets mad. How can I fucking fix it if you don't tell me? And I'm like, Rhonda, like, people should not have to always tell you that you're too direct. I know we can all have moments and things that we don't change, but I think with Rhonda, she means no harm. She's lived by herself for so long. And I have a feeling she did a lot of work, whether it be therapy or whatever else after her divorce, because of how she explained it and what she had to overcome. Sometimes people can get too good at their own healing and therapy. It's legit a thing. You don't need to overanalyze every little thing that this man does. You don't need to look at someone else's trauma and say, oh, you didn't do this work that I did. I need to avoid this because I know how I was at that point. You don't need to assess everybody else just because you did some work on yourself. You can only do so much work on yourself until there comes a time where you got to get in a relationship and learn what other pieces of work on yourself that you may need to work on. And I don't think that Rhonda is seeing that. She does seem a little critical of Pat. But Dr. P pointed out to Rhonda that she was defensive in her response in that moment, which was important because Rhonda would have seen it. She would have felt like she was siding with him if the doctor didn't interrupt that. So that's why I'm saying Dr. P's the only one who's supposed to do it, because pastor, take notes. That's all I'm gonna say. But Rhonda was hurt by that. She says she's hurt that she's being viewed now as defensive. She says she feels like he liked her personality at first and is now using it against her. And she cries. Let me tell you, when Rhonda cried, I said, what is with you colorless women in these tears? Rhonda, stop trying to gaslight the therapist. And now I'm looking at Rhonda because some therapists, you got to remember, therapists are people too. Some therapists can be gaslit by their clients. ACA Code of Ethics for 2014, they can tell us all we need to know as counselors, but sometimes you don't know how you're going to react until you're in that situation. Rhonda tried to gaslight them because why are you crying? That's even more defensive for you to cry. You're digging yourself into more of a grave. Rhonda, you are 63 years old. Wipe your fucking tears. You chose to get married at first sight and you have lived alone, as you say, since 1999. Nobody's going to be perfect. Stop pitting this man against you. If you don't trust his past, then leave. People have done it before on the show. They act like they contracted to just have a gun to their head to do it. They don't. So I'm just annoyed with Rhonda for that. I don't see it for Rhonda and Pat anymore. I just don't. I'm curious how James feels about the scene and Rhonda and Pat after watching that.
You know what's funny? I went back and watched that first argument they had because for me, because I felt like this. I like Rhonda as well. I'm not saying that I, have anything against Rhonda, but when I watched the counseling session with Mrs. Best, I said, wow, how audacious of her. Because that was absolutely crazy. So I went back, y'all, and I had to watch that very first argument. And when she said that, you talk a lot about yourself and you talk a lot about how, you try to, it's like you're secretly competing. That's what she was alluding to. And me and Mrs. Best talked about this. I was all like, okay, yes, she is. Yes, that is true. But we're trying to figure out, was he trying to do it as a way to relate, as he said, or was he trying to impress her? Which both are not the best, but at the same time, I don't think he did it with ill intent. So when she does this again, where she says, we're back to square one, I said, Rhonda, is he reminding you of your ex-husband? The one that didn't work? The one that you had to take care of for all them years? Is certain qualities and Pat reminding you of him and you don't want to come out and say it? That's why you're calling everything out when you see it? Because to me, y'all, there's nothing more frustrating than someone who likes to point out flaws because they dealt with it before and they don't have the guts to tell you that. And to me, I feel like I have to ask her that question. Is Pat reminding you of your ex-husband?
That's a good point because she brings him up a lot. She
yes.
talked about the divorce. She said he didn't want to work. And the fact that Pat's living with his mom, it might make her think something different. But I could definitely see that because she doesn't really say much about the husband outside of he doesn't want to work. We got that. And that was that.
But she's very quick to point out certain key elements of Pat's personality that makes me feel like you don't know him well enough to be calling that out. Yeah, you had one conversation where he did it continuously, but that doesn't mean that in this very fresh stage of dating you that he's like that. That's just meaning he's trying to relate to see what we have in common since this is a new situation for him. Because I looked into I'm looking at it, I was like, okay, yes, she's right. But at the same time, I don't think he's doing it with the intent to one up you. I think he's doing it with the intent so he can relate to you to see how much more he can vibe with you. I don't think it was that at all.
A lot of people, I had said that on the live, that's what it looked like because it did. And a lot of people, when you don't know somebody, that's the easiest way to relate to people, especially if you haven't communicated with someone or other people in a little while in terms of dating. But Rhonda's just over criticizing it. I think she's guilty of something simple that a lot of single people do. Nitpicking and being just overly picky. You're never going to find the perfect person. So, some people say, oh, I want someone who's tall, dark, handsome, has to have this, that, this. Some people say, oh, I don't care about that, but he has to have this with finances, this credit score, that, and he needs to be okay with this. That's why people be alone for so damn long. And it doesn't mean you have to settle, but you can't pick at every little thing or search for specific things in a person because then you're looking for those things and that interferes with you getting to know the person. And you
realize those things aren't love. Or you realize those things that you're specifically looking for really don't matter to you. It's just
Sometimes,
no, it always happens like this because for me, I'm that way.
but not all people are.
But not all
That's
people are. Yeah, but I'm that way where I like specifics in people as well. Do I get them? Yes. But then the person ends up coming with a whole lot of things that maybe I'm not 100% into. Do I stick it out? Yes. Because at the end of the day, I accept the person for who they are. And I think that's what Pat needs to do. I mean, not Pat, Rhonda. Rhonda needs to do that. Rhonda needs to do okay, he may not be perfect in A, B, and C, but the rest of the alphabet is clear. He works, he does this, he has a good job, good career, he's a family man. Those are other things that I like. I'm sure there's more that what she likes in Pat that can overlook this whatever she's made up in her mind that I feel is a trauma bond, really, if we really think about it. Not so much on his part, but on her part. I think she's picking out things that were her, and then all people do it. There's all people do. All people try to find similar things in their current partner that their ex may have had that you're like, damn, like I wish he didn't do that. I wish he didn't chew like that because that remind me of that last one. I wish he didn't flush the toilet like that so many times. Like y'all, we all do it. And I think that Rhonda's kind of taken hostage to it, like where she has to
the
find
thing with Rhonda, though, that I call bullshit on is if you're gonna be like that, then be open to receiving it. Because Rhonda can't take any criticism, and that's what I've seen. I am not surprised about it. That's why I'm not attacking her for it. This is a 63-year-old woman. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, and as quiet as it's kept, all them 60+ people running our country in Congress, running the shit into the ground. So they be set in their ways. They be set in their ways. Point. And it's very difficult to, she knows who she is. She's lived a certain way for a long time. So I do get that it can be difficult for her, but Rhonda's got to get out of her own way. And I worry for Pat too, because you got to man up, bro. And I worry that he'll just sit in it to avoid not being alone. I do think Rhonda's right about that. But realistically, if Pat was like a more confident or more put together man or person, he wouldn't put up with this lady and all of this, because you're not going to get mad and be concerned and make every little thing a problem. I also feel like Rhonda was looking for a problem because she was talking on the honeymoon about how nervous she was about having to move in with him and all of this stuff. So I think she's one of those people who'll say stuff and have a thought in her head and then let it keep going and talk herself into just expecting an issue. But I don't know, James. We'll see.
I don't know either. And what's crazy is that I feel that at some point, as astute as she can come off, I would think that she would be a little more blank canvas to this situation than she is. I feel that, to me, she came here with her picture already painted of what she wanted Pat to be. And I just feel like that's so wrong to hold him hostage to that.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. Like, to me, it's one thing to say, okay, because I'm not gonna lie, when she in the first argument, when she said that she was robbed and he didn't acknowledge it, I did feel like that was messed up of him not to do that, because who wants to be robbed and like of their personal value items. So I get where she is coming from. I don't think that like she's wrong in the assessment, but the fact that she continuously does it, I think that that's where it's like, okay, well, you have to give him a break at some point. You have to give him a break.
She's not, but yeah. It'll be interesting to watch. James has already watched the episode, you guys. Because that's all that happened on this episode. I'm going to do, I guess I'll do episode 7 after his Potomac Live tomorrow on Monday. I don't know when I'll do. Oh no, I did 5 already. So
you did 5, yeah.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. So we'll do episode 7 after Potomac tomorrow. And then Tuesday, Love and Hip Hop Miami airs on BET. So Wednesday we'll have that live. We'll also have Wife Swap and The Housewives of Salt Lake City. They all air on the same day.
We're gonna be busy, but I have a lot of free time this week. So
well, I don't at all. This is a busy month for me. So we gonna see. I'm gonna just hang in there.
Hang in there, friend. You got this. You got this. You got this. You got this.
Oh, Lord. But I appreciate y'all for participating in the comments. Everybody who's watching when we're no longer live, whether you catch us live or not, me and James both sincerely appreciate you guys because you keep us going. I do hope you guys subscribe to his channel. The link's in the description. Also check out Shayna_MCD, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.